So we are continuing to be plugged in, looking at how we can use all of this, and I think we all see in the past governor's campaign how well these new media sources have been used. So you can see we have both our official and political opportunities there for you to follow us, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, on YouTube, and both of our websites. And I want to say a little bit about websites before we open it up for questions. You know, another thing today you have to look at is how do you communicate with people through your website? How do you make websites simple? How do you make them able to use the latest technology, whether it's YouTube? So we're in the process of redesigning both our official and our political websites to make sure that they are right at the forefront of that, being able to get information to folks. The thing you got to worry about on the website is information overload. If someone goes to your website and says, God, I have no idea how to get information off of this, or things don't jump off the page to them, or they have to scroll down. As you know, you have a page width there. If people have to scroll down below that page width to find something, chances are they won't go to it. So we're looking to try to contain things in a single page dimension, make sure that things are simply there, and then if people want additional information, it's easy for them to drill down, but the basic information is right there in their forefront. And then we want to make sure, too, that we have different ways to three-dimensionally present information. So we'll be doing some things on our website to take our YouTube and have that scroll through so people can see different pieces of information. So we go from what we call a static website to a dynamic website. You know, we'll either use a pan up and down or a cube that'll rotate and have a new screen on there. It may be our newest YouTube video. It may be a press release. It may be something else that's going on up there. So we want to make sure when people go to the website, they can easily navigate it, but it also catches their attention to where it's a dynamic website and they see things going on instead of just going there and going, okay, now where do I go? What do I do? You want something to capture their interest. So we're doing that both on our official and political websites to try to, again, be able to most effectively communicate with folks. Well, let me do this. Let me go ahead and open it up for your questions, comments.
Actually, before we open up for questions, this afternoon, two of your potential opponents are going to be here. They're challenging each other in primary right now, Scott Robinson and Crystal Ball. And they're going to have an opportunity to make their pitch as to why you should be out of a job next November.
Gotcha.
So the platform is yours to make a statement as to why you enjoy the current job that you're in.
Sure. Well, you know, we've been in office since 2007. I think since we've gotten there, we've worked tremendously hard to make sure we know the issues, to get out there and really address things that are first and foremost on people's minds. You know, the first thing is jobs and the economy, and that's where we absolutely have to be doing all we can to try to lift things up and create jobs. We've been very aggressive about holding job fairs, about looking at how can we help small businesses, putting together legislation, being supportive of legislation that helps small businesses. So we are tremendously focused on that. In addition to this being a district where obviously the military is extraordinarily important, I'm very proud of our record in advancing the mission capabilities of our bases here, building that capability. We got the Ballistic Missile Defense Center for Excellence to be located at Dahlgren. We also now will see that all of the Navy's both land and sea-based ballistic missile defense efforts will go on at Dahlgren. That's a significant bump up as far as activities there and jobs. We're actively working to attract the Marine Fast Unit to our Yorktown Naval Weapons Station. We've been successful there in helping outside the gates there at Quantico, making sure that that technology part that's going in there has opportunities for folks to be jointly working on efforts there at Quantico. So we've been very, very active there. We've been active in supporting our veterans to make sure that they have the support that they need, but also make sure the benefits that they've worked so hard to obtain through their service to the United States don't get reduced, or we don't renege on the commitment that we've made to them. So I feel very, very confident about the efforts that we've made there. Obviously on transportation, we've been very aggressive on transportation, putting several bills in to try to manage the Transportation Trust Fund as a trust fund, making sure that we take that money out, set it aside in the trust fund, invest it, and take those proceeds and put them back into the trust fund rather than have the money just taken out of the general fund, which right now, if we were to have managed it as a trust fund, it wouldn't be running a deficit. So we've been very forthright with that, working to get Virginia to be out of the donor state list, to make sure for every dollar we send to Washington, we at least get $1 back. Right now, we only get 92 cents back. To look at innovative ways to help with telework, to get folks off the road. We've been very aggressive with that, especially with secure telework sites. A lot of folks in Washington work with secure information, so they just can't go to a normal telework center. They have to go to an area that has a secure network connection and obviously a secure workplace. So we've been working very hard to make sure those opportunities are available in the 1st District. We've been able to get a commitment from the General Services Administration and the various agencies to locate those facilities in the 1st District. So we're looking at a variety of things to do, and that's also a job creator, because the more jobs we can get out of Washington, the more capacity we get into the region, the more jobs that are created in the region, the less traffic we have on the road, which also helps with transportation. So I look at those issues, and as I've said, we've reached out to folks. We have a number of advisory councils where we listen to folks. You know, the good ideas don't rest in Washington. The good ideas come from the folks out there that we represent. So we've been very aggressive on the economic development front, the job creation front, the defense of this nation, making sure we're doing things to enhance the base capacity we have here, also supporting our veterans, and then also working very hard on transportation to make sure that we're out in front. And the Surface Transportation Act comes up for reauthorization very soon, so we'll have an opportunity there, and we've provided a number of ideas to Chairman Oberstar for that. So, you know, I feel very good about the things we've done, how we've reached out to folks. You know, this really is an effort to get all of the ideas from folks in the district, not have it to be a Washington-centric idea generation effort to make sure ideas come from the district. So I would put out there those efforts and our aggressiveness in trying to get things done for the folks in the district to make a difference in their lives. I think they send folks to Washington to say, listen, I want you to go there and make a difference. I want you to go there and fight for the principles of what we see that need to happen in our government, and we want to make sure that those efforts happen. Whether it's making sure we do the right thing on health care reform. We all agree we've got to have health care reform, but we've got to do the right thing. The bill that we have before us right now adds to the deficit, changes the efforts that are going on as far as the system that is working now between patients and providers and the coverages that they currently seek, and then really getting down and focusing on the 15 million people that are chronically uninsured. And as we know, this bill looks at about 30 million. I think that gets past our capacity to bring those people into the system in an efficient way. So we want to make sure we're doing the right thing on health care reform. And this bill that's before us, I think, causes many of us on both sides of the aisle some concern. So I'm very much focused on doing the right thing on health care reform, too. I know that's first and foremost on people's minds. But I think people, too, look at it from a standpoint of priorities and say, let's get the economy fixed. Let's get jobs going, and then we ought to be looking at exactly what we can do with health care. So I want to be out there making sure we're providing solutions to problems, and I think we've been very aggressive and have been successful in doing that, and that's what my pitch would be, to ask folks to send me back when we go through this job interview here in this next election cycle.